Oh my god, Holly, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna fucking shake this motherfucker when he gets home. Like he doesn't understand. Like, oh, extend the olive branch. Fuck you. Like hell no. They're talking shit about me, talking shit about him, and he wants to go ahead and then now fucking remove the copyright things and do quote unquote the right thing. I swear to God, I'm gonna stab him when he gets home. Please help me here because I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm gonna just fucking lose my brain. I'm gonna go smoke an ounce of weed right now. I don't know what the fuck to do. Holly, help me, please, please, please. Talk some, please.
Boom. Good morning, people. How are we all doing? It's Tuesday and it's my day off. Morning, Red Paul. Cannot believe you jumped in there first. You were like, I'll whip it. I'll whip it. You jumping in there quite quickly. Jumped in there like a wicket. A wicket? A whip it. I don't know what I meant. Morning, Gemma. Morning, Vout. If you want to share this out, that would be amazing. I've just got to send a message quickly, and then I shall be with you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Just need... The fuck is it? Oh, just need to share something. So, what did everyone think of that clip? Ooh, is Dawn and Eli, do the fractures in their relationship continue? It would seem like it. I didn't get to watch Eli yesterday very much. I was actually out doing a walk myself. But some of these YouTube streets are a bit crazy, but I just thought I would come live this morning. It's my day off. I didn't really have much to do. I did miss a lot last night. I missed Tammy's stream. Tammy was doing a stream last night about Eli, and I missed it. I have rewatched some of it this morning to try and catch up. But the gist of last night's stream that Eli did was about masculine and feminine energy and how women should be in the kitchen and how men should be making the money, and just a general overview of how inferior Eli was to his own girlfriend when she was making money and had prospects, and now she should be a subordinate to Eli because he does DoorDash and he does YouTube. It's a very warped little world he lives in, I must admit. Just having my little drinky. It seems like a very warped little world that Eli lives in, where somehow, no matter what woman he goes against, he wants to throw this inferior card, oh, she earns more than you. She shouldn't do. She shouldn't go to work. She literally shouldn't breathe air without permission. And this whole 1950s homemaker, woman in the kitchen with a baby hanging from her breast, baking some pies. I mean, seriously, Eli, you got to get with the times, my friend. There are women out there that make 5 times as much as you do, Eli. Does that make you feel inferior? It probably should do. And do you know why it makes you feel inferior? Because you're not putting yourself to your full potential. Any person on this planet can make the same amount of money as anybody else. If you have a millionaire and a billionaire, each of them, you could make $1 billion. You could make $1 million. All you have to do is get off your fat ass, leave your house, and make something of yourself. You ain't going to do that sitting at home, bitching and whining on YouTube, and constantly going on about how these women make more money than you and how they shouldn't be and how it makes you feel inferior. You wouldn't be feeling like that if you got up every day with an attitude of, I'm going to make money. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to make something of myself. Instead of completely just whining. All I heard last night was Eli just whining. It was a whiny stream from start to finish. He was going on about the 1950s woman. Then he was ragging on millennials. Will you stop blaming millennials for everything? I mean, you can blame us for the internet if you want, but you're using the internet to do your business. So, I mean, it's a bit of a cheap shot there. A woman who makes 5 times what Eli makes is not more successful than Eli. 5 times 0 equals 0. Yeah, my Dawn wants to murder Eli. I heard that. Let's play the clip again for the people who just turned up. Let's play the clip. Let's play the clip again.
Oh my God, Holly. I don't know what to do. I'm going to fucking shake this motherfucker when he gets. I was over there on her channel and they're like, oh, extend the olive branch. Fuck you. Hell no. They're talking shit about me, talking shit about him, and he wants
that was taking copyright
quote unquote the right thing. I swear to God, I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm gonna just fucking lose my brain. I'm gonna go smoke an ounce of weed right now. I don't know what the fuck.
Some sense into your own man. Wow. So it sounds like their relationship was progressively getting tumultuous the more time they were together. So every time he went out to DoorDash, she took the opportunity just to run Eli into the ground at every opportunity. Like, what kind of woman does that? Like, I might have a beef with a partner, but I don't go to my girlfriend and start bitching and moaning and sending her multiple voice notes whining about him. Why wouldn't you just go to Eli and say, look, you've been a little bit hectic, you're a little bit crazy. You need to like tone it down a bit. That this is unhealthy, and have what they call an actual conversation with each other. Because it does feel like the lack of communication in this relationship between the two of them, unless it's about YouTube, it feels very staggered. Good morning, Pizza Demon. Yeah, their relationship seems very staggered. Like every time he went out to do DoorDash, she talked shit about him to Holly. You know, I mean, what kind of healthy relationship is it when you can't go up to your partner and say, look, we've got problems. We need to sit down. We need to talk. We need to hash this out. He's a life coach who literally promotes effective ways to cope in tumultuous relationships, ways to cope when relationships. Like, am I missing something there? Should they not be able to sit down and have what you call an adult conversation, or am I missing something? Should they not be able to just like discuss this as like two adults? I mean, I'd like to say that Eli is actually took opportunities to stab each other in the back the minute the other person was gone. Because you had Eli when he did a clip when they were at a restaurant and she'd gone to the loo. I don't think that voice note came from Holly, but it's the same thing. It doesn't have to come from Holly. It proves that Dawn was taking every opportunity, whether it was to Holly, every chance he left. You know, he'd be door dashing, trying to make money for them, and he was there. You know, she was there slagging him off. You know, he was trying to provide for this woman, and I don't know how I would feel if I was trying to provide for my man and then he was phoning his friends slagging me off the minute I left the house. Whether it came from Holly or not, I get stuff from her. Oh, okay. Well, you can see my point. It's the fact that every time, you know, Eli left, she was pissed at him, but instead of telling him she was pissed, she was running to other people. It literally looks like she can't talk to him about anything, about her feelings, her emotions, and everything. If Eli worldview hadn't been screwed by residing in Frisco for 5 decades, I mean, we can blame a lot of things for the way Eli acts, his upbringing, his mother, the influence, where he lives. But at the end of the day, you turn into the person you want to be, whether it's by influence or not. Probably like a hairdresser on a bad day and a mechanic with a broken down car. It's the disparity and the irony. Yeah. But you can see where the argument is. You know, he was trying to, you know, because he never shuts up nor listens, he cuts her off on what he assumes she's about to say. There is that. But if you want to have an effective long-term relationship, like I was in a relationship for 13 years, and if I had a problem with my partner, I'm not going bitching to my friends or my family. I'm going up to my man and saying, look, this isn't working. We need to sort this out. And I do that on a regular basis. If I had issues, I'd go to him and he came to me, and it was vice versa. And that's how we lasted so long. Okay, I see your point. All this comes down to is 2 points. He's a horrible person. Not going to dispute that. Staying with such a horrible woman makes him a simp. It does. I don't want to be a judge, but it would seem like he's settling. Ooh, dare I say it? Does it seem like Eli's settling? Now that he's found a woman, would it be that he's settling? Is it settling at this point, do you think? Is it a relationship that could be rectified? Is this a relationship that, using the therapist, using the counselor, could this relationship effectively be saved down the line if it continued to go how these voice notes are sounding? Is it possible to turn it around and save a relationship where she seems to hate him no matter what he does? She seems like just against everything. You know, she doesn't really, it doesn't seem like she cares. I get a sense of like, yeah, he brings her alcohol, he brings her donuts, he's paying the bills, but does she really care at the end of the day about him? You know, it's all about communication and trust, which Eli and Dawn do not have, so their relationship is doomed. It's a fair point. If you can't put trust that you can talk, he definitely settled. He's finally found regular pussy and he's doing everything to keep it. Yeah, I don't want to sound judgy, but like I said, I've been in a 13-year relationship. I know that there are tough days and there are good days, and you have to roll the hard with the smooth. Some days you woke up and you literally want to punch the other person. You've had such a bad night or you've had an argument, and I can understand the anger. But it's when you don't take that conversation to your partner where it bubbles up, and then months down the line, you have an amazing blowout, and that can be the demise of both of you. Communication is key. Eli will tell you, and should tell you, being a life coach, that communication, no matter what the situation is, the communication is what can save a relationship or break it. There is no exception to that rule. If you wholeheartedly trust your partner, you should be able to go to them for anything, no matter how small, whether it's they're leaving the toilet seat up constantly or they're putting the ketchup in the fridge, to you caught them spending a mass amount of money in a store that they didn't need to, and you want to talk to them about why, or a bigger situation. There should be no need to send voice notes to your friends and family, or vice versa, like slagging them off when you really could just go to them at the end of the day. Everybody needs communication. If you have it, then there's no way of saving it. You could save a relationship if you then realize that what you're doing is destroying it, but it's coming to that realization before you go too far. That's the problem. It's getting to a point in the relationship where you hit that wall, where you're both kind of ignoring the situation and not basically acknowledging that it's happening. You need to come to a moment of realization and go, oh, holy shit, this is what's happening. We can fix it, but we need to band together. And that then comes into Eli's previous stream where he said about teamwork. Now, relationship is teamwork as well. Don't let anybody tell you that you can have a one-sided relationship and everything's hunky-dory. You need both sides to have a working relationship. Doing everything, Josh, aside from dick it down more than 15 minutes. For example, I trust my partner. She talks to me when she is stressed, and I talk to her when I am stressed. See? That is giving him the benefit of the doubt that each time lasts 5 minutes. We love you, Red Paul Jack, and your very crude sense of humor that Eli could last 5 minutes. You're giving him a lot of credit there. But what I'm trying to say, as these clips come out, you can hear the desperation in her voice that he is just getting on her last nerve. Like, the progressiveness of the voice notes have steadily be getting like, I'm tired of him. He won't fucking stop. He won't do this. He won't do that. And now it's come to, well, we're just not going to communicate with each other. We're just going to send our friends and family just voice notes of us slagging each other. I left my hat there. Oh, shit. Bugger. Oh, no. I left my hat. Can you believe I left without it? Oh, my God. Please don't let the kittens make a home in my hat. Good morning, Anna. I'm just going to open my window because it's a little warm in here. Hang on a sec. Let me open my window. I'm a little hot. Getting hot under the collar in here. Oh. There we go. Ooh. Oh, let me open my window a bit. Oh, I got work tomorrow as well. I'm as slick as oil because I'm crude. You gotta love Red Bull Jack, haven't you? He's very crude sense of humor. Yeah, I needed to open my window. I've been out and I've come back and I forgot to open my window. Whoomp, whoomp, wah, wah. So what is everybody? It sniffed it and ran away. What? Don't let him destroy my hat, please. Don't let him destroy my hat. I took my library book back, just in case anyone's wondering. So, he went through a lot last night about how he didn't like the fact that women earned more than men and that they shouldn't, which, okay. He was also talking about women that should be at home. She's gone back to bed now. It's fine. Oh, I don't know. Their relationship, he wants, I don't know what Eli wants from it because he doesn't seem to get anything from it. I mean, I'd love to see their chemistry again on another stream. They haven't done a stream together recently. I'd love to see the chemistry between the two of them. Because apparently, you know, she's having therapy. They're having counseling. But I don't know if it's actually helping her. I don't know. Nala really doesn't like her right now. Well, it's only been a couple of hours. I'm sure she'll gravitate towards her eventually. But let me just get a bit more settled. So the question would be is how do you rectify a relationship that currently right now seems to have what I call a power struggle? So it seems to be a power struggle because the role play that Eli did last night was very weird. Did anybody else watch the role play that Eli did? The role play of an argument, which you could tell was supposedly with her. And he was like, well, no, baby, we'll be perfectly fine. And I'm like, if my man demoralized and demeaned talking to me like that after we'd had an argument, I'd be like, look, bitch. I'd be like, look. I don't think this shit's going to work somehow. I wouldn't have a man talk to me like that. I don't know about anybody else. But he did this little, I want to call it a reenactment of his beef with Dawn at some point. You can tell that it was an actual conversation they'd had. And he was like, baby, what was it? How can you trust someone suspiciously if they're talking to another man or something? How can you trust someone if they're talking to another man or something? I mean, when you have a relationship, you have to put faith in your partner. Like when they go to day and they go to work, or if they talk to another woman, you would hope that people aren't always like wanting to like stab you in the back. Eli has no idea of reality, is totally deluded. I mean, I do feel right now that he's kind of currently living in a bubble where him and Dawn have like when me look at the Facebook group. What? Excuse the spelling errors, I was driving. Okay. When me and my partner going through mental health struggles, we talk to each other and try to understand it. Exactly, Val. Communication is key. What is this? You sent a message to Dawn. Okay, so Josh has sent a message to Dawn and he sent her a question. And the question was, hey, I've got a serious question. I've noticed a pattern with all the voice notes and texts I've got. You seem fairly miserable with him. Beyond normal ups and downs, that said, why do you stay? Now, that's a good question. I'll just show you. That is effectively what was written a minute ago. Just to clarify, that's not me making shit up. That's actually a message that J-Rom has sent to Dawn. That is a good question. Aside from having normal ups and downs in a relationship, like arguing over what movie you want to see at the weekend, or arguing over who's doing the dishes after dinner, if you're that miserable, conceited, angry, frustrated with a person, why do you stay? What is it? What is it that Eli's giving her to make her stay? Is it money? You know, is she hoping for a bit of this trust fund thingy? Is it the stability? Is it the fact that he'll pay her medical bills? He'll pay for this and he'll pay for that. Is it again about money? Or is it genuinely that somewhere deep down inside there, somewhere she genuinely cares for Eli? Which she could do. Let's not tarnish her too quickly with the fact that she's a gold digger. She could genuinely care about him. And I know it sounds weird, it sounds crazy. Saying it myself, I'm like, what? She could genuinely care about him. But there is a but, though. If you go back to some of the previous voice notes, she mentions the fact that when they got together, he was throwing money around left, right, and center like he had some, which would suggest to me that he was hoping that flaunting this money, you know, like, look at what I've got, was going to entice her. And then the more and more she got in and she found that there was a trust and everything else, it made him look like hot shit. But then when you get down to the nitty gritty of it and they were dating longer, it would seem that, you know, Eli doesn't own the place they live in. It's rented off his mum. His mum does let them live there rent free, but now because Dawn's moved in, and Eli now is showing his true colors where he doesn't have the money that he so claimed he had, because the medical bills are tying up, the all the other bills that she had with the courts and everything else, and it would now seem that it would now seem that the shining prosperity of having money, a fancy living, and all of this luxury was literally to like draw her in. And then when he got her hooked to going out to fancy dinners, having money, going away for the weekend, and that he had this money, when her medical bills came, her hospital bills, the DUI, the court bills, he's not got as much money as he made out. He's not fly with the cash anymore. In fact, he had to do DoorDash just to try and make £2,000 to pay his mother to keep Dawn and him living there. You know, as she said, he gave this opinion that he had money because they were going for fancy dinners. They were going out. They were going out for the weekends. They were going away. And he looked like he had money. Then when they've moved in together and shit really has gone down since then, he's not as flush with the cash, is he? He doesn't have what he's put out there. You know, oh, we're going away this weekend. Oh, we had this fancy dinner. Oh, I ordered this £50 burger. What happened to him, like, showing all this stuff off, you know? Oh, I got Dawn this, and oh, I got Dawn that. What happened to all of that? Just because it doesn't happen anymore. The luxury of, you know, all this money that he had, suddenly there's a realization that he doesn't have all this money. He's not fly with cash. And you have to question if it's not the estate she's after, which could be 20 or 30 years based on the age of his mother. You know, what is she after? Because Eli had said that she was interested in him for his purpose. Now, his purpose is apparently to be a life coach on YouTube. That is his end goal, is to become a Coach Corey Wayne mega life coach, whatever you want to call him. And he said in a previous thing, I think it was on a live stream, that Dawn's sole interest him back then was his purpose. It wasn't sexual. It wasn't material at that point. It was his purpose. He said that in a stream recently. Now, I don't know about you, but if my partner was a life coach on YouTube, I don't think that would be the draw to the person. I think the draw would be something more personal, like appearance, character, loyalty, honesty, actual things you can judge a person for. Saying that his woman looked at him and thought, yeah, I think his purpose is sexy and that's what's drawing me to him. You can't tell me that she looked at this YouTube channel, which she'd been looking at before she came out herself, and had been looking at this YouTube channel and thought, you know what, this is a cash cow. We're going to make money. We're going to do live streams. We're going to have a podcast. Fuck me. We're going to be bigger than Coach Corey Wayne. You can't tell me she looked at this whole scenario from the outside and was like, you know what? This is really going to make me some money. I really can see this working. Eli's so useless as a worker, he couldn't even succeed at food delivery. Yeah, you have to wonder at that point how low you can possibly stoop if door dashing is your sole income. Now, don't get me wrong, people. DoorDash, I've done pizza deliveries with friends before. And it's nice to make some added bank. But you, realistically, DoorDash, the way Eli was doing it, was never going to fund them. Their entire existence was not going to be funded by him doing 4 or 5 hours of DoorDash a day. Because not only that, he was going to check on his woman on his break like she needed some kind of 24-hour surveillance or 24-hour care, like she couldn't get off the couch and make herself a sandwich. I mean, you know, this pipe dream of becoming I wouldn't call it a life coach megastar. Let's not like go too crazy. Becoming a life coach at all and making it profitable. That is something I can look at the outside. Hey, angels don't fall. I can look at the outside and see that Eli wants to try and make this a viable business. I just don't see it personally. Where's my? I don't see it personally. I could be wrong. I could be like, I could be judging too harshly. You know, he doesn't trust her. See, he's the kind of guy that would have like a prenuptial agreement before they got married, correct? You know, I can, no. You know, I could see them having like a prenup that would state that, you know, she doesn't get any of the estate if he inherits it. That I could see Eli doing. I don't think my video is monetized. When the cuck's away, the dogs come out to play. I don't think I've monetized my video. Hang on. The question for us is we've asked what Dawn's getting from Eli. What is Eli getting from Dawn? Flip the scenario. What is Eli getting from Dawn? Apart from the DUI, the court bills, the medical bills, the fact she cannot work, her medication, her hospital appointments. What does Eli get out of this? What's his part in this deal? Because she obviously thought she was getting money, a fancy living. You know, they're going to have the 2.4 family, you know, the big house, the cash, you know, the weekend away, the fancy dinners, what issues and added expenses that seem to pile up. Theoretically, every day there is something else, whether it's a court fee, a court bill, a hospital appointment. I think her insurance pays for her counseling, and boy, does she need counseling. But then Eli's going to the counseling too, which is also a question of like, why? Imagine being so isolated and deprived and devoid of intimacy that making out with your dogs is enjoyable. I did hear the voice clip about the teeny dog, and oh no, that made me unable. I'm doing great. How about yourself? Well, I hope you're doing all right, Angel. Yeah, Katie is still pregnant. She's still holding on. That baby's cooking away in there still. I've been to see Katie this morning. I went to see them this morning. I took them a cake because I'm too nice. Okay, thank you. Link to my new shorts. We have a new friend. They do have a new friend. Yeah, if you want to check out her new short, if you want to support me, you know, Lou, you could thumbs it up, you could subscribe, you could donate. Anything would be appreciated. I'm actually trying to monetize this video while we talk. I have subscribers now, which is pretty cool, I must admit. I'm pretty happy now with my subscribers after hitting 3K. If anybody didn't know, I hit 3K the other day, and I'm pretty happy with it. I have to say, pretty happy. You know, obviously, it wouldn't happen without you guys, you know. But I have to question what they both get out of this. It's how do you put it? It's an interesting relationship that they have, but I guess you could say it's not interesting in a way that makes you like want to have what they've got. Like this whole jealousy thing that, you know, we look at their relationship and we only have a go because we're jealous. I mean, like, seriously? Like, I don't see it myself. Katie, love the cat. I do have 3 cats and a dog. Yeah, they've got a new kitten, just to make it a lot more harder. I don't know about actually making out with your dog, but I know the rest of what you're talking about. I had the best dog ever that used to sleep in my arms every night, unless the old lady was there. Then we had 2 or 3 at the foot of the bed. Yeah, I mean, she said she kissed a dog and she liked it. J-Rom's actually got that clip as well. I mean, each to their own. I mean, their relationship will either sink or swim. Personally, I think it has a timer on it. I think it comes to a point where the relationship has so many flaws that you either acknowledge they're there or you just gloss over it entirely at that point. I think you can only go through so much where you either acknowledge the situation and talk about it, or you pretend the situation isn't happening and then you move on from it. But then if you don't acknowledge the situation, are you doing more damage because you're not bringing it to the forefront, or are you doing more damage by keeping it behind the scenes and keeping it out of closed doors? Like, Eli claims they have a transparent relationship with each other, but they don't seem to have a transparent relationship when it comes to their followers. No, they don't necessarily have to have a transparent relationship with their subscribers. No one's telling them they have to come out and do the ins and outs of their entire relationship, start to finish. But when you want to portray a happy, healthy relationship and use that as the basis for your life coaching, it's a bit tongue-in-cheek when the transparency that you two have supposedly at home, which we can see you don't have, is then not portrayed to your followers. I think we'll sink, Raven, the way it's going. I think even without and even without the voice notes, I think even if they hadn't been released, there are cracks that need to have been addressed between them. Not sending voice notes to Holly or to friends or to somebody else. It should have been talked about between them. And I think that's the problem. As a Mancoon that freaked out when I left the house, I'd still be home. Jodie, Ariel's older twin sister. Oh, yeah, one's a Mancoon and one's I think they said a Longhead. I'll put a picture in my Discord or something of the cat. But I think even without these voice clips and even without screenshot voice clips and whatever, I personally don't think it would last. I think it comes to a head where so much goes unsaid to each other that eventually you just blow up one day and she's going to have a go at him and he's going to tell her to get her stuff and leave because she either doesn't care or doesn't have his purpose in mind, or she was only after one thing. Whatever happens when they split, and they will down the line, however you want to do it, he's going to throw whatever it is in her face, whether it's because he spent too much time doing his purpose. He spent too much time on YouTube. He didn't give her the attention. He promised her a lifestyle that they're not living. Whatever it is, and it's going to happen. It's going to be thrown in his face. And he's going to come up with the, she should have wanted me for me. She should have wanted me for my purpose. She shouldn't have wanted me for this, that, and the other. And he's going to twist it. But then she's going to claim, he sold her this life. He promised her this. He promised her that. He didn't deliver, which is a fair argument as well. If you promise this woman the lifestyle, the money, and everything else, and you can't deliver it, you kind of let her down. But if you can't give her the lifestyle, the money, you could make up for it in other areas. You could try to be that same person. You just need to do it differently. I think relationships have a lot of built up tension, a lot of aggro, and couples do fight. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that me and my ex or me and any other person I've ever had don't fight. It's just when you get to a point where you are leaving voice notes to a significant other, a friend, a family member, that you want to kill your partner. They make you mad and all of this. Really, isn't that something you should be saying to your partner? Should you not be hashing this out, getting to the root of the problem, and effectively life coaching each other? It could be wrong in my thinking, but that's how I see it. If you get to that point, effectively you should be talking to each other and working it out. Things do snowball. It starts off as a teeny little thing, and then it works up to a big thing, and the situation isn't addressed. You could have what they have when they come on the live streams, where they seem to pick at each other. She seems to make constant digs at him, and he seems to make digs at her. And you get this back and forth little digs that if they were just to hash it out and have that uncomfortable conversation that they don't want to have, because neither of them want to admit there's an underlying problem, that's how things then start to go downhill. So, how does everyone feel about this then? Let me know your opinions and your thoughts. Oh, come on now. I'm sure every single one of us is jealous of a chronically unemployed 50-year-old narcissist that never left home, anorexic, drunken, bar floozy, professional gossip on house arrest. Well, obviously, Red Bull. The question would be, why aren't you? Why aren't you not jealous, Red Bull? I mean, she quite clearly has some problems.
He really is. He's a sweetheart. And that bitch Scotty's back on because stupid Eli retracted his copyright strike, so she got her channels back. And she's back there talking shit again. So, that's on him. Whatever. I can't do anything about that. But yeah, no, Lewis is an absolute sweetheart. Absolute sweetheart.
So, not only does she talk about their relationship behind the scenes, she's also talking about her fellow, followers, subscribers. So she's still talking about YouTube as well. Where's the dog one? Is the Red Rocket the dog one?
Oh my god, girl. This is hysterical. Okay, I did put this on and I'm watching it right now. But Eli was instigating my dogs so bad. Because you know how they've been, the little one's been humping and licking the big one? Well, he was holding the little one up and exposing the little one's penis. And so my big one started licking the little one's penis, and it got him super excited that he started humping, just that humping action, and he started humping Eli's leg, and then he went full on into a full-on fuck mode on to Buster, and then when we pulled him apart, he was so much into that fuck mode that his hips would not stop that motion, instigating them. He's like, but your dogs are homos. They're homos. I was like, well, you're instigating this. They're animals. They don't know any better. Oh my god, I can't believe him. He's so fucking crazy.
I can't be jealous of any guy whose girl flirts with delusional Sifu Smoke and likes making out with dogs. I'm not a big fan of Sifu Smoke, I must admit. He does seem a little bit too... Sifu's a little bit too crazy for me. He's definitely on a another plateau of craziness. I don't think he's as crazy as American Dream though. American Dream is right up there in whack job territory. But he's still a little unhinged, which suits Eli fine because I do get a little bit of chemistry between Sifu and Dawn. You can see it when they were doing a live stream together. There's a little bit of chemistry between the two of them. which is probably why Eli doesn't have panels anymore with his woman. He's the worst bullshitter ever. Yeah, what was it when he went to, was it Antarctica or Antarctic? Was it that one? No, that was some weird shit. What was it, making it out in front of penguins or something? I think we talked about that not so long ago. I was like, absolutely just not. Need a smoke a sec. But you can see what I'm talking about, right? The craziness, the delusions. It's real. I'm talking real. Who's still here? I guess you've all gone off to your jobs and your work. I don't know if anybody else is live streaming. Possibly. My internet I think you're doing an amazing job. Oh, thank you, Joe. That's nice of you. And Valk is still here. Hey, Valk. Remember, thumbs it up as well. If Cuck Eli was here, he'd be telling you to thumbs up the stream. Also, if you want to consider donating, that would be amazing. Become a member, help the channel out. The difference is Sifu is naturally mentally ill. American Dream rotted his brain out with drugs over time. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's drugs that makes American Dreams crazy or there is just his craziness. It does seem like American Dream has that kind of crazy persona anyway. I think he likes acting. I think he likes the whole character building thing. I don't know if necessarily you could blame the drugs for him being crazy. I think some of that is actually American Dream, which is probably more scary than the fact that he uses drugs to act crazy. That he would actually do them things like without the drugs. Sifu is just mentally ill. He does have some underlying craziness that is homegrown. And I'm not talking in your garden. I'm talking homegrown as in built into his DNA. And Coach J-Rom is driving because Coach J-Rom is a truck driver and, you know, he has a busy schedule. Can't even stop to listen to a live stream because he'd make no money. But, you know, people's opinions on these voice notes, these voice clips, and whether they should be out, whether they shouldn't be out, whether we should stop, whether, you know, this has gone on long enough, whether enough is enough. I still believe that the advice Eli gives to people is dangerous. Whether he likes to think so or not, I think it's dangerous because it's ill-informed, it's ill-researched. He has nothing to back up anything he ever says. It's literally his own thoughts and opinions, which is fine. You can come out on YouTube and give your own thoughts and opinions. But when you're trying to charge somebody for those thoughts and opinions, you better, by golly, make sure that you're not damaging someone, giving ill-informed advice that you haven't researched. Especially when you're paying someone like a premium for this kind of advice. American Dream is a boisterous character, but he literally admits to putting drugs in his... I did hear about that one. But he had at one time was able to hurt a nursing job. Yeah. He's a little bit on the line between crazy and kind of normal, and I think he likes to bridge the gap a bit. I mean I think American Dream is harmless. I think he's just a bit of a wacky character. You know, I've seen him on stream looking like a woman with boobs and the wigs and all that. I think it's just a bit of his character. You know, Sifu saying that he went to Antarctic, was it, and making out in front of penguins. That guy's got a weird imagination. At least when American Dream says shit, I mean, some of them are a little bit, you know, but if she leaves Eli because he doesn't have money, then she's a gold digger and deserves everything bad in life. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I never went with my man for money. We lived on the breadline at some points, you know. We didn't get together for money. We get together because we loved each other. All Dion has done as an adult is drink cheap beer, poorly rake neighborhood leaves, try and convince people he's a massive success, and get a DUI. Oh, so him and Dawn have something in common. See, technically, Dawn and Dion would make the perfect couple. They're two both crazy people who not only drink, I don't know if Dion takes drugs, can't say, but they are somewhat on the same wavelength. You know, I think it was, I don't know if it was J-Rom last night, but somebody said that Eli could effectively do better than Dawn. And it would seem that he's just happy to just settle, you know, in this miserable existence of just where he is. He seems happy just to like live this monotone, samey life. He doesn't seem to have any aspirations or goals apart from being a life coach. Which, if that is your only aspiration in life, is to be a YouTube life coach, give up now. Would be my advice. Just give up. If he really wanted to build a life with Dawn, I think he would be putting more of an effort in. Not 100% sure, but I think when he got his DUI, he didn't even have a driving license to lose it. It wouldn't surprise me. But it's an interesting relationship that they've got. Let's put it that way. Do they bounce off each other? Not really. Do they have a go at each other? It sounds like they bicker quite a lot. And this whole, well, you know, you hurt my feelings, baby. You know, that whole sitting her down next to him, not sitting him down next to him, sitting him down opposite her, like she's being told off by a school teacher. That's how it would feel to me. If I sat opposite my partner at a dinner table and he said, look, baby, you hurt my feelings. You've hurt my feelings before. I've hurt you. Maybe you're in the wrong. It's a bit demeaning, a bit demoralizing. It's a bit like being told off at school, like go to the principal's office and sit opposite him and going, you do know that was a naughty thing to do, right? And we're going to rectify this. And then you're going to apologize to me. Like, if they bounce off each other more, Dawn probably would be able to tolerate him better. I don't think so. I think he's so invested in this way of life that he's had for so long, living in Cali, being a life coach, not aspiring to be more than what he is. Settling in what I would say is a drunk alcoholic girlfriend who seems to have no prospects and no future right now, but this is what makes him happy. Hi Raven, good to see you. Hope all is well. Good afternoon, Terry. How are we this afternoon? How are we all doing? I know there aren't a lot of people here this afternoon, and that's mainly probably because I'm live streaming in the afternoon, which I don't generally do because I know everybody's at work, and I get told that my live streaming patterns have a lot to be admired. But I utilize my free time, you know. Yeah, I've been seeing that you've been loading some train stuff in my Discord. I'm good this afternoon. I filmed a steam train leaving Victoria. It'll be filming again at Clapton Junction later. Ooh, lovely. I also bet she was always talking to Holly because all Eli does is cut her off with YouTube garbage. We're not scurrying around the house singing her name like some sort of musical cockroach. She needs to drown out the nonsense. Yeah. I mean, I'd probably have to drown him out because it does sound like, from the voice notes that have been released, that even when he's not on YouTube, he's still obsessed. And the whole Lycan thing back in the day where he was constantly, pitted and triggered and constantly talking about Eli. Just imagine if Dawn had to have put up with that back then, when he was on another scale of craziness. Don't worry yourself. I'm still here, Raven, just playing my U-boat game. Ooh, you sunk my battleship, huh? Or you sunk my submarine. It's a little bit on the nose right now, isn't it? You sunk my submarine a little bit too close to home. The engine is a West Country Class 34046. Oh, cool. Well, I can't wait to see your videos. The last 2 steam tours on the Southern Line before it heads back to crew for maintenance. Well, can't wait to see your videos, Terry. I do miss being on the trains. Well, I've been out this morning. I have had a walk to town and I have walked back. I did go see my son and his girlfriend for a bit this morning. Eli was shunned by Lycan. He loves Jamie and Jamie rejected him. That's why he was so salty. He didn't love JB, so he didn't care that JB shunned him, but he always sought Jamie's approval. I think he sought both of their approvals. I think Eli really aspired to both Lycan and JB for different things. I think for Lycan, I think Eli aspired to Lycan for his popularity. Now, Lycan has done some questionable things through the years, but then so has JB. But even doing those questionable things that he has done, and he's done some questionable things, let's not make him out to be a saint, he still maintained his popularity, he still maintained his brand, and he still maintained an audience. JB, on the other hand, although he's done some shady shit, his audience kind of drops off and then comes back. And, I don't know what Eli aspired to when it came with JB, whether it was just because JB had this non-give-a-shit attitude, which Eli could actually use sometimes, where he just like water off a duck's back sometimes, instead of being butthurt by every situation, which is what he could have looked to JB for, that JB did make money. He had a carefree attitude. He had women. It gave Eli something to aspire to. Now, Lycan, on the other hand, obviously he had money. He had a community. And I think Eli just wanted to fit in. I think it's the whole playground thing. You get two popular people like JB and Lycan. They were popular for both different reasons. They had their own communities. They had their own money. And Eli wanted to be a part of something. I don't think he cared at that time what he was a part of, but he wanted to feel part of something. He wanted either Lycan to have his approval, or he wanted G to improve reliant friendship. I mean, Lycan does what he wants, and so does JB. But even did you hear shit show with the BBC? Some like stuff is getting worse, and the whole world's gone to shit, hasn't it? Well, let's be honest, the whole world. He sought JB's cut with Jamie. He wanted so badly to have his acceptance. Yeah. He wanted JB's clout, that JB had a following, he had money, he had women. He had this life where he could go what he wanted, do what he wanted, had women, had money, and a very carefree attitude. Now, Lycan cares. He cares greatly about his brand, his reputation. He's a little bit more frivolous when it comes to his reputation, because he is willing to do certain things to keep his rep, some shady stuff, over the years. But Eli always wanted these two men to give him their approval in some way, like the King and the Cuck show, obviously, or Eli trying to fit in with the Midtown crew, which didn't work. The Midtown thing was never going to work because Eli doesn't hate women. And Eli wanted to coach them. Now, I don't know how men feel about being coached by men, but when you have some men that are very opinionated, very set in their ways, I don't think trying to loaf coach them is going to help. But that's, yeah, I mean, Um, So yeah, that's technically my opinion on Eli's like last couple of streams. Someone had asked me whether I would do an unlisted stream of Eli at some point, and I don't know. If you're not in my Discords, then maybe consider joining if you have an interest in Eli stuff. But I don't know. Someone said I should get a throwaway channel and do it like that. But I'm wondering whether I could just do it unlisted and still make money. Because I don't need the watch hours. This got nothing to do with the watch hour. I got more than enough watch hours. The principle of it is still being able to get donations. Because obviously I want to be getting donations for the shit I do. So I'd have to see whether if doing an unlisted stream, I could still get money for it. I don't know. I don't think I was monetized the last time I did an unlisted stream. But I mean, he can see accolade from whoever he wants. I don't think it's going to help his channel by I don't think it's going to help his channel still trying to aspire to other people on YouTube. I think this whole teamwork, collab, building a community where they all collab and hang out and, you know, it's a good idea. But when he's relying on people for interviews, relying on people for topics, relying on people constantly, it becomes less of a him thing and more of a codependency. Like him wanting to collab with JB, doing the King of the Cut show, him wanting to collab with Lycan and doing shows. It's riding off somebody else's success and coattails to get to where he wants to without, in my eyes, putting the work and the time and the effort in to get to that point. See, when I do live streams, I very rarely have people on the panel. I very rarely have a panel for many reasons. One of them is, depending on the topic your discussion, I don't want people arguing on my channel. I don't want people on the panel arguing, bickering, depending on the situation. Also, not having panels gives you more control over your show. By just having people in the chat, you can effectively steer the conversation to where you want it to go. Also, not having a panel leaves it so that you don't end up being demonetized. Some people have what I call loose mouths and can say stuff that can get you into trouble, get you demonetized. So there's also negatives to having panels, which Eli has personally learned from, that having panels doesn't always work out. The plus side of having panels is obviously having a debate, having a conversation, mulling over a situation, hashing it out, depending on the topic. Having a panel can also give you a new perspective, but you can also get the new perspective from someone typing in the chat. You may not be able to get their passion or whatever from a chat, but you know, a panel can also, you know, panels are good, but also panels are bad. Now, Eli just wants to use collabs to benefit himself. I don't think he's seeing it as a two-way street. Like, him collaborating with Jamie would bring nothing to Lycan. It wouldn't benefit Lycan from collabing with Eli because there's nothing to benefit from. Eli has tarnished his own name, tarnished his own subs, tarnished his reputation. There would be nothing right now that anybody, let alone Lycan or JB or anybody else, would get from collabing with Eli. They wouldn't get nothing. They're not bringing subscribers. It's not bringing a new perspective on a topic. It's not bringing anything to the table right now. So the end goal for Eli is what? The end goal to have a happy, healthy relationship with Dawn, to become a life coach, to have the life he's always wanted and talked about by helping people. If you go on Tammy's channel, she did a community post where if anybody has a testimonial saying that Eli has helped you in any way, Tammy would like to talk to you about how Eli has helped you. So if you go to her community page, there is a post on there asking for testimonials on people that have been helped by Eli. And what we would like to know is when he helped you, how he helped you, what benefit talking to Eli gave you, how did you come to a resolution, how did you fix the problem? We're looking for testimonials of Eli's great work. So, what does everybody else think then? Am I the only one that I don't know if I'd still believe that Eli could be a life coach on YouTube. I mean, he's going to give it a fair try. I mean, the thing is, when you come this far and you've been doing this shit for like 6 or 7 years, it would be a hard one for him to just turn around and stop the life coaching thing, because I don't even think, even if he took the coach part away of his name and stopped trying to life coach people and just had a normal channel, I think the damage has already been done. I think it's irreparable damage that cannot be fixed, because he could go to any community and I guarantee you someone has heard something about him or knows something about him. I've been in communities that know him or know of him. They don't know a lot about him, but they've heard his name. They're just not interested. They already know some of the bad stuff and they're just like, no, we're not interested. So his reputation does precede him before he gets to somewhere. They already know of him or know of stuff he's said or done, which makes it very hard to branch out to other places. Like, some people don't need life coaching. Some prepared to go about the way they want to. Yeah, I don't know if people come in my chat. I've never had anyone come in my chat really for advice. You might get the occasional person come in, like Gemma's come in before and said, you know, there's this person, they're kind of coming in my chat and they're kind of trolling me. You know, do I ignore it? What should I do? That kind of thing. But no one's really come in here needing like life coaching. Maybe that's because I don't put life coach in my title, or I don't have coach in my name. But I've never really had anybody come over here expecting to like have life coaching to give them like advice per se. If someone wanted to ask questions and wanted advice, whether it be a job, a relationship, or whatever, my first port of call would be to say, and I quote, that I'm not a life coach or a counselor or a therapist, and that the question you're asking me, I can only give my own personal opinion on that. That may not work for you. That may not be the solution. That may not even be the answer you were looking for. And I wouldn't expect people to come to my channel for life coaching. I don't know if you needed coaching, whether YouTube would be the place you would look for advice. Now, if you had a situation going on in your life that needed addressing, would you then go to someone's live stream who claims to be a coach and ask them for advice? Or would you text a friend, call a family member, message your therapist, Google it? Would you come on YouTube looking for a life coach to answer your burning question? Or look for a life coach who can effectively fix your problem, or at least give you the advice to fix your problem? I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure that if you had a burning question that was like case sensitive, like you were having a fight with your loved one, or you were being bullied at work, or something else was happening, I don't know if you would seek out a life coach on YouTube who has no credits, no credentials, no life experience, nothing to base his advice on apart from the fact that this is his own opinion, and use that to effectively rectify your problem or answer that burning question that you have effectively, that you would then feel that not only did you get your money's worth, that your question was also answered. I'm not so sure. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch, but I'm going to assume no. Just putting it out there. I can't see that you would seek an online life coach. I could be wrong. I know that some people find the anonymity of YouTube to bridge a question. Maybe if you go to somewhere where someone doesn't know you, like if you had a problem and you turn up in Eli's chat and no one knows who you are, you're on like a sock account, whatever, you can pose a question to Eli of, I don't know, my woman goes into the laundry room to make phone calls and I think she's cheating on me. What do I do in this scenario? Would you come on YouTube under a sock account to somebody's chat to pose that question, hoping for advice? The question you'd also have to ask yourself is, if you have to stoop to finding a life coach on YouTube, I mean, you'd have to question yourself on your life choices at that point, that you believe that a life coach on YouTube can not only fix your problem, but you're also willing to pay for that advice as well. Like, you wouldn't go to a therapist or a counselor. You'd go to a YouTube coach. Now, a YouTube coach doesn't have to have credentials or certificates. They don't even have to have finished school. I literally could sit here right now and go, I'm a life coach, pose a question. I could answer your question, and whether that was the answer you wanted, needed, believed you wanted to hear, I could fix your problem and it would go away. But it's I would hope that if someone genuinely, wholeheartedly had a problem that needed fixing, they wouldn't come on YouTube. They would seek professional help. A psychologist, a counselor, a therapist, your professor at school, your doctor, even a friend that you really could confide in, before you would jump into a chat to a coach you don't know and pose questions about your life, which not only will he give advice on, but he'll also judge you. Don't forget the judgy part. Like, if you turn around and say, like I said, my woman's going to the laundry room, I can hear her talking in there, it's like she's making phone calls, should I be concerned? Eli's advice would be like, well, you need to open that door and confront her. Yeah, that's probably the worst thing you could do. You can't just jump from 0 to 100 to fix a situation. You need to assess the situation. You need to look at the bigger picture. You need to work out, are you effectively being crazy? Maybe she's just in there talking about something. Maybe she's setting up a surprise for you. Maybe she's confiding in someone about something and then she'll confide in you at a later point. The advice that Eli gives would be like, man, you need to man up and you need to sort your woman out. Like, the pig-headedness way doesn't always work. Let's put it like that, you know. The whole, oh, you need to tell your woman. Well, yeah, Eli, you need to tell yourself as well. Have we still got 5 people? I'm sure there's some lurkers. I'm sure Dawn or Eli is watching me. If Dawn was here, I would love it if she would type in the chat. Maybe she could explain a few things to us. You know, the burning questions that we've been having. Or reach out to J-Ron while he still releases voice clips and destroys your relationship beyond belief. Because it must be hurting both of them. It must cut to the core of Eli to know that his woman literally despises everything he does. Start to finish. The door dashing, being stuck in the car with him, his constant talk about YouTube, his constant bitching, his constant moaning. It must grate on Eli that his woman thought these things about him. But then you haven't really heard many voice clips about Eli talking about Dawn. There was a clip, I think it was ages ago, where they were at a restaurant and Dawn had gone to the bathroom, and I think Eli made a quick clip and sent it to J-Ron. But you can tell they're not happy. They can put on this little happy facade of that everything's wonderful, everything's happy, everything's jolly, and they're not fooling anybody. Even as a life coach, Eli does not have the capability to fake being happy to that extent. There are pictures of him out with his woman having dinner, and he is effectively miserable as shit. He's miserable in every photo he's ever had. Now, maybe he's not very photogenic. Entirely possible. Maybe he's not one for having his picture taken. Not everybody is. But when you're sitting there with your girlfriend, having a meal, she wants to take a selfie for prosperity, to show, you know, people, you know, how happy you were, that you had a nice dinner, you had a nice time. I mean, bitch, you could at least smile. Like, dear God, Eli. Like, holy shit, crack a fucking smile. Dear God. Like, I know it takes some effort to be happy all the time. And boy, do I know the fact that trying to have a smile on your face 24/7, I mean, it doesn't work for everybody. I mean, no one's expecting you to be like happy fucking smiley 24/7. But, I mean, like, come on, people. If you're going to go out with your loved one, you're going to have dinner and everything, at least try and look like you're enjoying yourself. You had to know that when Holly said, take a picture of you out while you're playing darts, and they took a picture, and Eli's face was like, he just didn't want to be there. Then they had dinner elsewhere, and his face was like, he just doesn't look happy. And what kind of message does that send to people if you can't even bridge a fucking smile when you're with your girlfriend, supposedly out having a nice time? I mean, it's not good, is it? If you can't even fake it around your girlfriend being happy, how the fuck are you faking this shit long term? How do you fake this long term down the road? What are you going to do? Fake your wedding day with a fucking fake ass smile? I mean, I mean, come on, people. So it's been an interesting couple of streams. The voice clips that are coming out, they're not as damaging as some of the other ones we've heard recently. Her hating Eli is probably the most damaging one so far. You know, the fact that she wants to murder him. But apparently she wants to murder a lot of people. She's even said she wanted to murder Lycan. So maybe she just has some pent-up frustration that she needs to get out, you know, more than 3 times a month. Just saying, Eli. Well, I'm going to guarantee one of them has been watching my things because I don't know. The other topic about men and women cohabiting together in this existence, it seemed a bit too close to the topic I had the same night. Just saying. But it's not the first time a topic's been stolen from my channel. So, and it's not the first time that Eli has told topics from Coach Corey Wayne or a number of others. We've caught him in the act where he'll just swap 2 words and basically effectively steal the title, thinking that if it got this person a lot of views, I can just swap the 2 words in the title around and it'll get the same traction. That only works if the person doing the stream is what's attracting the people. Coach Corey Wayne can put whatever title he likes. He could probably put a blank title and people would still tune in. No one is tuning into Eli because they don't like him, whether he has a decent topic or not. I think my vapes ran out. So what does everyone else think? Everyone's a bit quiet today. Everyone okay in the chat? I don't want to run my mouth for too long. I do like a bit of banter. I don't want to be like Eli, the star of the show is all me, because that's not true. The star of the show is technically the subscribers, because without the subscribers, you don't technically have a show, which is what Eli is missing now. He doesn't have the tete-a-tete with the people because he doesn't have as many followers, and even he's realizing that. This whole friendship with Lycan, it's not done him any good. Whatever he thought was going to come out of it, it hasn't. And, I mean, you can look at that. There were 6 people here. Is everyone still lurking? It's very quiet in the chat. I need someone to talk so I have something to bounce off. I don't know why everyone's so quiet. Yep, I'm good. I was thinking about when I eventually had to go to the gym and get my body in shape. What do you mean eventually go to the gym? I have a gym opposite my house that I've never been to. There is a gym literally opposite my house, like a minute's walk. Never been there. Never been there. After my doctor's referral comes back. I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting fit and healthy. eating a balanced diet, getting a daily walk in like I have been in the evening when it's been cooler. I've been starting to do an evening walk and turning it into an evening live stream while walking, which hopefully people like. I don't know whether people like the walk streams I do in the evening. You obviously have to let me know. I found the 2 graveyard streams I did were therapeutic. I did one at night and one during light, if you want to call it that. And I find walking therapeutic. I also find live streaming while walking therapeutic. There are other places I could go. There's a cemetery that I could walk to one night. And I could also just do a lap of the town. Collins Gaymans used to live here. So he was quite interested the other night when I was showing bits and pieces of the town. He liked knowing different things because he used to live here. If people like the walking with purpose streams or whatever you want to call it, walking with Raven's Rambles used to be a thing. I used to do proper walks and used to live stream and chat and stuff. But I did then take on a lot on at work, and I still have a lot on at work. Then I need to get to grips with. I've obviously got a grandchild coming, fingers crossed, anytime. So my life right now is quite busy. I wouldn't say it's hectic. I would say it's busy. I do effectively have stuff that I should be doing. But I also want to take my time out to have me time, which is the YouTube and the streaming in the evenings, which I do find that living alone, you sometimes need an outlet, whether it's a Facebook group, YouTube, calling a friend on the phone. You want to feel, I wouldn't say needed. You just want to feel something. You know, coming off of work, coming to an empty house some nights. That's why I've been doing the live streams, to bridge the gap. You know, you walk around town with me like you're walking with me. Someone had also said about doing Eli streams unlisted so that we could still talk about Eli. Yeah, if that's what people want, we could attempt it. I'm quite happy to do unlisted streams with people I trust. Obviously, I trust people to a certain extent. You can't trust people a whole 100% because that's just not a thing. But I would say I trust most people in my Discord. There might be the select person that I'm not too sure about. And I wouldn't want my unlisted link getting to the wrong people because I don't want to be striked again. It's a thing to look at. Someone else said I should get a different channel and have a throwaway channel where I could do the Eli stuff. But if I did that, I then wouldn't get donations apart from PayPal. And that would defeat the order being monetized. So I don't know. I have a bit of me time when I play Train Simulator and think about werewolves. See? Everyone needs that bit of me time, whether it's a bit of off time, you know, YouTube or whatever. But Yeah, let me know whether you enjoy the walking streams. I think I'm going to do a poll on my community tab and find out whether people like the walk streams, because they're about an hour long, because that's what my battery can do on my phone. I've got like about an hour's, it would be like an hour's stream each time I did it. And I could start in like different places within the town, and we can walk and talk, and you know, you'd see the bunnies or the squirrels or the wildlife or that kind of thing. It's not an overly big town. How can you stop a ex-girlfriend from hitting the ex-boyfriend? I'm sorry, how can you stop an ex-girlfriend from hitting the ex-boyfriend? Well, you can't really. I mean, best thing in a situation like that is just to let the two hash it out. Technically. Just let them hash it out. I would say personally let them hash it out. I mean, no good can come from you getting in the middle of all of that. That is some baggage that you don't want to get yourself in the middle of. An ex-girlfriend from hitting the ex-boyfriend. Because I am the ex-boyfriend. Okay. I mean, I guess I would find a scenario where you couldn't put yourself in the situation with the ex. I would try and put yourself in the scenario of not being put with her or around her. Distance yourself, maybe. Tell her flat out if she hits you again, you're going to call the cops. See? It's a good question. I agree. Let them hash it out. Yeah. I would try and avoid the situation where you're with her, whether it's one-on-one or being around her. I mean, I used to live with my ex when we split for about 3 months before I moved out. And it wasn't a very good time, but we learned, you know, to give each other space. I guess. Or record her hitting you and then hit her back. Call it self-defense and make sure you bring the video to court. See, Anna's got this worked out. Like I said, I'm not really an advice giver. This isn't a life coaching channel. I can only effectively give my opinion. But if a man hit me, bitch is getting slapped. I mean, a man targets me, he getting a slap. I don't care who he is. Thank you, Miss Anna. Oh, I helped too. Did my advice not help, Joe? Am I going to have to renounce my life coaching title? Do I have to renounce my life coaching title now? Well, as I said, I'm not a life coach, so no, it's definitely empty. Well, Joe, I'm just tired of women abusing men and getting away with it because they have a vagina. No, Raven. What? No. I will renounce my life coaching title. I will just have to be plain old Raven. Like I said, I'm not a life coaching channel. I don't pretend to be able to give advice to help you. I mean, I can barely help myself sometimes. Don't let me try and don't let me try and give you life advice, because I barely have my own shit together. Barely have my own shit together is what I would say. I need to do some of my own soul searching sometimes. Well, I mean, you don't have to renew your channel. Yeah, I'm going to renounce being a life coach. It's over. This YouTube life coaching thing is just too hard. I'm going to have to renounce my life coaching certificate. I'm just going to have to be plain old Raven. I wouldn't want to be a life coach anyway. I don't think I would want people's problems being on my back, if I'm honest. I mean, I barely have my own shit together half the time, let alone put my life in somebody else's hands. I wouldn't know about that. If it was a therapist or someone who studied human, that would be a bit crazy, just to put your soul, hoping that whatever the person told you was going to solve everything. Not sure why anyone would want the pressure. Yeah, why would you want the pressure of being a life coach? I hate it when my own friends come up to me and want to know too much. They're posing questions to me and wanting answers, and I'm like, I just do not want to be a part of this. I don't want to be involved in it. I don't think that I need to be a life coach to my friends and family, or to posing a question to you on how you can fix their life. And I'm like, look, bitch, I barely have my own shit together. You want me to fix yours? The pressure of having somebody else ask your opinion. What do you think? How I fixed it? What if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? What if you are a life coach and someone comes up to you and says, I've got a problem with my woman, and, you know, she ends up getting bitch slapped at the end of it, or beaten up, or killed? How can you feel that? No, it'd be too much. Life coaching it shouldn't be a job. Life coaching should not be a job, because most of the people that do the coaching don't even have their own shit together. I mean, Eli is a prime example of people that shouldn't life coach. He does not have his own place. He's not married. He doesn't even have his own kids. He doesn't even have a job. He lives effectively in his mother's basement. But he is qualified in his eyes to give advice. Somebody make that make sense, because I can't. I just can't make it make sense, because it doesn't. You barely have your own shit together, but you think you can tell somebody else how to get their shit together. Really? Really? I think not. I think not. If you barely have time in your life to rectify your own life and fix your own shit, how are you going to have time to rectify and fix somebody else's? Did you know I have been on the news before? What have you been in the news for? You've been in the news. Are you going to answer the question? Am I meant to be psychic? Okay. Well, are you going to tell me, Joe? You kind of put my live stream to a hold. What have you been in the news for? Because I don't want to be live streaming all day. I might do a live stream this evening as well. Might do another walking one. I got bullied and threatened by a bus driver because I'm disabled. That's why. And for driving so dangerously he was, and I was the one who reported it. Oh, well then you did a good thing, Joe. Well, I've been live streaming for 2 hours. I think I'm going to cut it there. I might live stream this evening as well. I might do a walking stream. I don't know. I'm going to see how I feel. I feel a bit low today. I need a bit of perking up, which is why I did a live stream. But it is my day off. I'm back to work tomorrow. Then I have Thursday off. I'm back to work Friday. And then I have the whole weekend off. So if you want to like and subscribe and give it a big thumbs up, if you want to support the channel, a PayPal, super chat, super thanks, become a member, join the other 10 lovely people. Also, if you want to join my Discord, I will put a link in the description of this video. Remember, the only stipulation to join my Discord is that you hate Eli. If you want to see me elsewhere, I have answered the question. I know, I've seen it, Joe. I think you're a bit behind in the live stream. You need to make sure you're on live chat to keep up. But I think you're behind, Joe. But if you want to like and subscribe, that would be amazing. Thumbs it up. And I will see you all very soon. Have a wonderful afternoon. And I might live stream this evening. Take care. Bye, guys.